Hey everyone, it's Carolyn. Welcome to the channel. Today I have another collective reading for you and we're going to be seeing what message Spirit has from you. Today's going to be a really fun reading because I'm going to be using the Alice in Wonderland Tarot and I'm using Alice the Wonderland Oracle deck. So if you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland or if you're just drawn to hear what message Spirit has for you, definitely stay tuned. If you want to watch more of my videos, I'm going to have them linked in the cards above. And if you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Please hit subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family, and make sure you turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I post multiple videos every week, including more collective readings like this. I also do pick a pile readings and zodiac readings along with other educational videos to help you all on your spiritual journeys. And I also post unboxing videos of different tarot and oracle decks, including this Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. I'm going to have that video linked in the cards above. And if you like my reading style and you want to get your own private reading from me, I do sell them. You can check out my Etsy shop or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Everything's going to be linked in the description box down below. So let's see what cards your spirit guides have for you. So we just got a card. I'm going to turn it upright. We have the Five of Teacups. Let's see if we can elaborate more on this Five of Teacups message for you. Just got another jumper. So we have the Eight of Teacups, Four of Spears, and the Wheel of Fortune. So in this deck, these suits are a little bit different. Got some more jumpers. We have the Strength, 10 of Hedgehogs, 5 of Hedgehogs, and the 5 of Spears. So we have a lot of fives going on here. The back of the deck energy is the 7 of Teacups. I'm going to put these off to the side here. I'm going to start pulling from your oracle deck. But what I was saying is you have a lot of fives here. So you could be dealing with some challenges in your life, because 5 typically represents like the change in challenges. So we got 2 oracle cards. They both came out reversed. I'm going to flip them upright. So you have Painting the Roses Red, card 27, Covering Up Errors, and card 29, Find the Lesson, Discover the Purpose in a Situation, Trust that you are learning. So I'm going to go ahead and rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better, and then I'll be back. So the first thing I want to start with, you have all of these fives here, and it's interesting because you are missing the suit, and you're missing the flower suits or the wands in this deck. And you have the Strength card, which is a flower. But besides that, you don't have anything representing this like fire energy, this flower energy. So I think that's very interesting. And it could be that that is something in your life that is very balanced. You were able to motivate yourself and push yourself to stand up for yourself, protect yourself, and go for what you want. And that is why it's not appearing in this reading. But going back to these fives that you have here, you got the 5 of Teacups, which is the 5 of Cups. To me, this indicates some sort of crack with your emotions, some sort of issue where you are feeling some type of way, but you're not allowing yourself to see it. You're not allowing yourself to fix it. Instead of fixing it, it's like you're pushing it down deep and hiding it away and acting like you're fine. When really, like, everyone can tell that you're not, and it's coming out in like kind of passive aggressive ways. It's coming out in almost like these cracks that you're revealing, but not fully allowing it to break you. And so it's like you're keeping it together, but you can only take so much more before it finally all spills open. It's like you're overflown with emotion, literally, because, you know, teacups and cups, they're all emotions. And it's like, all right, now you're taking on a lot of different emotions. You're feeling a lot of things and you don't have an outlet to fully express yourself. You feel like you're not being heard. You feel like people are not understanding you. And part of that has to do with the fact that you are not putting enough effort into expressing yourself. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit more, but I want to talk about the other fives we have here. So then we have the 5 of Spears. So when it comes to the 5 of Spears, this is also the 5 of Swords. This is an energy in which we are fighting to be right. We are creating issues and drawing our lines in the sand, not so that we can come to an understanding with people, but more so we can prove ourselves, and we can also like cut them down at the same time. When it is this conflict where you have the Five of Spears, you're not fighting to try and create a common ground. It's like you are fighting for yourself. Like you are defending yourself and you're cutting with words. You're not caring how you hurt this other person, because it's not about you and this other person right now. It is about yourself. It's like self-preservation. But that can also destroy the relationship. That can destroy the friendship. And then you have this Five of Hedgehogs, where this is literally like you feel like you're the odd one out. You feel like you're different than everyone else. You feel like there is this abandonment or isolation from people in your life. And so you feel like you don't have people to support you. You don't have people to rely on. You don't know what to do because you feel alone. And so we look at these 3 5s here. I'm also being told some of you, your numbers could be 555. But it's like if we look at these cards here, if we weave them together, you are quite literally right now feeling a time of overflowing emotion, feeling like you're being misunderstood, feeling like you are not getting your point across, feeling like you are being isolated or separated from these people in your life because of some enemy or because of some situation that has made you the enemy, where you feel like it's very difficult for you to mend the peace, right this wrong, correct this, because it feels like so much is stacked against you. You feel like you're already on the outs. You feel like you're so close to breaking. You feel like you are justified. And so it's like right now, yes, you are feeling hurt by others, but if you took yourself outside of this and like you saw it from someone else's perspective, you would see that the people that you're fighting with, the people that you're disagreeing with right now, they're also feeling this way. You're so focused on being right now that you're not focused on fixing this, of bringing peace into this. And it's like literally you are painting the roses red, covering up errors. So instead of admitting, you know, that this isn't what you want, you're doubling down. You're trying to cover this up. You're trying to act like everything's fine and you're okay with this, when really you're not. Really you're breaking. But instead of learning this lesson and fixing these, you are really trying to push this down and act like it's not affecting you. And Spirit's pointing out to me, it's like you are literally Alice right now, falling down this rabbit hole, not having any control, not knowing how to pick yourself back up, not knowing how to fix it. You're Alice falling down this rabbit hole because you couldn't break free. You couldn't take a moment to be like, is this smart? Should I do this? You couldn't take a moment to pause. And so it's like right now, these things that are going on in your life, you have the ability to fix them. You have the ability to turn this around, especially if this is you and another person. You just gotta take a moment and be the bigger person. And I get it. You're like, I don't want to be the bigger person. I'm right. I'm justified. But if you don't do that, it's not gonna change. Literally your cards here. This is like take a nap, like revisit this later on. Like you don't have to do it right now. Like take a rest period, refresh your mind, come back with new ideas. 8 of Teacups, walking away, allowing yourself to figure out what do you actually want and walk towards that and let go of the thing that you don't want. And then 10 of Hedgehogs, Hedgehogs is Pentacles. It's like literally having the perfect foundation that you want, having the perfect life that you want. Strength is the ability to be vulnerable. And the Wheel of Fortune is accepting your fate, working with what you got, finding the lessons in things. And I want to point out, I forget if I showed it before, but the back of the deck energy is the 7 of Teacups, choices. Having the ability to discern what are your options and what do you want. Because it's like, yes, you don't have to fix this. You don't have to take a rest, and you can choose to walk away from this person, from this situation in your life. But that means sacrificing this. And I feel like you don't want to do that. I feel like that is you masking this emotion and acting tougher than you are for your own pride, for your ego. I feel like you're hurt. And because you're hurt, you're acting hurt. And so you're trying to tear this other person down. And like I said, you might be justified. But I don't think what you want is to be right. I think what you want right now is to fix this, is to mend it. But because you're so hurt, it's like you don't know how to get out of this. You don't know how to correct it. And I think that's where it's like you do need some perspective that the person you're fighting with right now, they're feeling the same way as you. I feel like some of you, this could be like a water sign. So this could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Or this could be someone who's like very important to you, almost like a maternal figure in your life. It's not going to be that way for all of you, because some of you, I also feel like this is more of like a relationship. But those of you where it's not like a romantic relationship, I do feel like this is someone who like is someone who's very supportive and loving and compassionate. And all of a sudden, it just feels like you two are not on the same page, and there's issues. And I also want to point out, at the time that I'm filming this, it is during Mercury retrograde. This is a general reading, meaning you can watch it whenever, but I would check that when you're watching this, see if you're in Mercury retrograde. Sometimes that creates miscommunications with people, and it's not what we genuinely mean, but sometimes we don't know how to verbalize things correctly. So definitely check into that and see if that is what's causing a lot of the issues in your life right now. But it's like you don't want to ruin this with this person. Like, they are important to you. You see them in your future. You see them being a part of your life, but you really gotta learn the lesson, discover the purpose in a situation, trust that you are learning. Like the Wheel of Fortune is saying, this is not happening by mistake. Everything you're going through right now, yes, it's not fun. Yes, it can suck, but there's a reason behind it. There's a lesson behind it. And the lesson is so that you actually accept what you want. And you don't complain for the sake of complaining. Right now, instead of covering up your emotions, accept them. Even if that means I'm hurt right now, okay, accept that you're hurt. You can't change, you can't fix things that you're not accepting. So if you're trying to pretend like everything's okay, you're never gonna try and fix it because there's nothing to fix. So you can't change it if you're in denial. And so if you're in denial and this message isn't gonna make you wake up, you're not gonna wake up because you don't wanna wake up to it. And that will come with its own set of lessons that you might have to end up losing this person in order to learn it, but eventually you will learn some sort of lesson. It just will be a different path for you, and that's your choice because we all have free will. But what the universe and what your spirit guides want you to do right now is they want you to accept the situation. They want you to take accountability for the situation. Like I said before, you're justified with this. This situation is not your fault. But just because it's not your fault doesn't mean you don't have any control over it, and doesn't mean that the outcome you get won't be your fault. You choose your outcomes. You don't always choose the path in order you get to them, but you do have a say over how you're gonna let this control you, how you're gonna let it affect you, and how you're gonna allow it to affect your relationship with this person. And so, yes, you're justified, but you have to make a choice right now what you really want. Do you want to be right, or do you want to keep this person in your life and work through it? And I'm not saying that you have to take all the blame and push your own feelings aside in order to work through it. I mean, you're able to work through it by going to them, saying your side of things, and allowing them to say their side of things, and finding a common ground. This is going to be fixed with mutual respect, mutual understanding. But the way to achieve that is to go to them and offer them peace first. If you're not offering a solution to them, if you're going in continuing to be defensive and continuing to try and hurt them and cut them down, then they're going to do the same to you. So you have to decide what you want. And if you are wanting to fix things, but you know you're hurt right now, allow yourself to sit and be hurt. Allow yourself to wallow in this emotion for a short period of time, because every emotion we go through, we have to allow ourselves to go through it. And so it's okay if you want to sit for one day and throw yourself the biggest pity party ever. That's okay. No one is judging you. Sometimes that's what we have to do. Allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to scream, allow yourself to process these emotions in whatever way you need to. There is no shame in that. But then allow that time of wallowing, of this pity party, to end. It's only something negative if you allow it to control your life and you allow it to continue forever, indefinitely. If it's just a short moment of your life, allow yourself to do it. Allow yourself to feel these emotions, be hurt, accept that you're hurt, but then be like, okay, I'm cried out. I accept that this situation hurt me, but now I want to fix it where I'm no longer hurt, or where I'm not allowing this to cause further pain to me. And so then, once you have worked through your emotions, reflect on this situation and see how you fed into this, where you made things worse, how you continue to push away from this person, and how maybe you didn't act like a person that you like. And allow yourself to accept it and be like, okay, yes, I was justified, but I see a better way I could have handled it. I could have done things differently. And so then once you figure out what you could have done differently, you know, keep a mental log of it or write it down, take notes if you need to, then reach out to them and be like, okay, I can see that we were both hurt by XYZ. This is what I meant, and this is what I felt from you. I don't think you meant it this way, but this is what I felt, and so this is why I did XYZ. So you're explaining your side, but you're also not going into it and accusing them anymore. It's not something where you are being defensive about it, where then they're gonna get defensive. Because now it's like you're calling out the facts. You're seeing what events led to what reaction, but you're taking accountability and saying, even though you have a reason behind it, you understand why it wasn't okay. And now you're putting the ball in their court. This person that you're trying to mend things with, now you're giving them an opportunity to show themselves. And you're gonna see if they are also finding the lesson in this, and if this Wheel of Fortune is allowing you two to come closer together, and they're going to say, you know what, I'm hurt too, this is how I felt, and yeah, I shouldn't have done it that way, you make good points, but I'm willing to try and work past this if you are. I'm willing to forgive you. I'm willing to accept that we were both in the wrong and neither of us was 100% right. And you can work out things that way, because then there's like a mutual understanding that yes, things might have been justified, but that doesn't excuse them. And it doesn't mean that you're allowed to continue to hurt one another just because you are justified. Because then you're only continuing this cycle of hate, negativity, and hurt feelings. And so it's like, if they make the change with you to be like, you know what, we're ending this cycle. We're going to try and find a way to make each other feel mutually respected, where we're not isolating the other person, and we're also not fighting to be right. We're fighting to have peace and be united with things, so that we don't feel this overflow of emotions anymore, and we feel authentic, and we feel like we can actually communicate with each other, and we're both working towards that. Then you two are going to be able to overcome this. You're going to break away from the cycle, walk away from it, and actually be able to be this 10 of Hedgehogs here, because you had the strength where you allowed yourself to be vulnerable. You allowed yourself to reach out to them, push yourself out of your comfort zone, and find the lesson. But if not, let's say this person wants to continue the cycle of hurt, and they turn around to you, they're still defensive, they are not trying to work things out with you, they are not willing to hear you out, then you see the writing on the wall. Now's your chance to walk away from them, because that type of person isn't going to let you be happy. And you have to have the inner strength to walk away from them. That is your lesson you were learning through this, is you're seeing this person's true colors, but in order to see their true colors, you have to be the bigger person. If you continue this cycle, you're never going to see who they truly are. And I want to pull some cards right now, because I want to see if we can get insight on who they truly are, like which outcome is likely to happen to you. Either way, you would learn a lesson, but I want to see if I can prepare you for what lesson that is. So, if you break away from this cycle, you stop this cycle, and you go to them, like how I said you should go to them, I want to see what their response is going to be. So interesting, we had the King of Flowers reversed. I turned it upright so you can see it better. So what's interesting, Flowers was the suit that I pointed out that you didn't have here, and Flowers is Wands. And they are this King of Flowers. So it could be like they embody this like fire energy. And this one like energy. So they could be a fire sign, that's Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. But it's almost like this person is kind of part of that like missing piece from your life. And so if you two work through this, it's like you two are very good for one another, because you balance each other out. But with this King of Flowers, with him being reversed, I feel like this is indicating to me that this is someone where they are very driven by their pride, by their ego. And that indicates to me that like when they're hurt, they are really hurt. Like it is hard for them to work through their own pain, just because it's like they try and make themselves be so tough. They try and make themselves like really tap into the masculine energy of the fire sign. Think like Simba from The Lion King. It's like when he feels like he messed up, he carries the weight of the world. Like he thinks that he's responsible for his father's death. And so it's like they carry these burdens that when they are hurt, it's like everything is unraveling around them at once. And so that's where it's very hard for them to be the bigger person, because like they put so much on themselves that when they are hurt, they think they need to overcompensate and act tougher than they are because they feel so weak. And what's interesting, like I said, the flower suit wasn't coming up at all. But for them, even the back of the deck energy is the Three of Flowers. And the Three of Flowers is kind of like discovery, learning new things. And so what this is indicating to me is that with these people in your life, there might be a hard lesson with this, because it's like they might be so driven by their own ego that they still continue to cover up their errors. It's like you two are really cut from the same cloth. Like you two are very similar. And as a result of that, it's like even if you go and you're the bigger person, they might not be ready for it. So what I would suggest is, you know, maybe giving them some time, seeing if they like realize there are their ways once they see like, oh, you were trying to be the bigger person. Then they might actually come back to you and try and mend things. Because it seems like right away, their defenses are going to be up because they think that this is some sort of ploy or trick from you. You're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. They're going to feel uneasy by that vulnerability. So they're going to have to do some investigating. So their initial reaction to you might seem like they haven't learned the lesson. I feel like because this card was reversed, that majority of them will be coming back to you and be like, oh my God, like, I am sorry. I did not realize that you were genuine. I was waiting for the catch. I was defensive and I'm sorry for that. Like, I feel like this person will come to you and you will have a reconciliation, but it won't be instantaneously. It won't happen right away. But it will happen a lot faster by you being the bigger person, because this is going to be the key to getting them to have this reconciliation with you. Without you being the bigger person, the cycle is going to continue. It's going to go round and round and round. And so I would really encourage you right now, like, I get that this person hurt you. I get that you're feeling upset. I get that you're feeling insecure and vulnerable. But if you really care about this person, if you want to try and make this person stay in your life, you need to be the bigger person. Swallow your pride. Go for it. Because this person, I can tell you right now, the King of Flowers, they will never take that first step. It will be extremely difficult. It will take a long time. And I feel like by the time they finally eventually maybe get to that place, you'll be long gone. And so if you're going to regret this situation, regret it because you tried to be the bigger person and, you know, maybe they weren't ready for it, whatever, but at least you're not going to regret it because you couldn't let yourself let go of your pride long enough to try and mend things with them. You really got to get out of your current state of mind, change your perspective, and let go of the things that don't matter. I feel like this person matters to you. And so it's like covering up the roses is not permanent. Eventually the rain's going to come, the emotion's going to come and wash away the paint, and you're going to be left with the mistake, with the error. You won't be able to really heal this unless you go and try and fix it. Because trying to cover up your current emotions, act like it's okay, acting like you're justified and like you're perfectly okay with cutting them out of your life, yeah, your ego's going to love that right now. Yeah, it's going to feel like, you know what, fuck them, I don't need them. But then eventually, months down the line, maybe years down the line, you're going to miss them. You're going to wish that you still had them in your life, and it's going to be too difficult for you to change them. Or it's going to feel that way where you're not going to make the effort. And then you're going to be right back where you started, where you have this overflow of emotions. I also want to point out with this 8 of Teacups, look at the design on the teacups. It literally flows from one teacup to the next. So it's like, yes, like this is a card that talks about like walking away, but you still are united with the things along your journey, along your path. And so it's like when it comes to this person, like I said, walk away from the things that don't matter. This person feels very important to you. And so I would just really encourage you right now, especially if you're a water sign dealing with a fire sign, I would really encourage you right now to really make peace, to really try and work things out. And allow yourself to be the big person and stop this fight, end it. Don't let it continue. I'm also being told for some of you, and this feels like it's a very niche group who is watching this, it could even just be one person. This is not a situation with another. This is a situation with almost like your internal self. It's almost like you're having like this ego fight with yourself, this ego battle, where you are so caught up in trying to do things a certain way. You're so caught up in doing what you think is right, or thinking that it's going to bring you this amount of status. And like internally, you were like, this sucks. This is stupid. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't even like this. I don't even want this. But yet it's like you won't stop doing it because of your pride, your ego. And so this is a message for you in particular. If you don't enjoy your life, you don't enjoy what you're doing, if you're dissatisfied with life and it's causing this emotional turmoil and this like feeling of isolation from the world and from support in general because you're not supporting yourself and you're trying to cover up your own disdain for your life, let go of your ego and remind yourself it's your life. You're in control. So if you're not going to take control of your own life, you're going to let your ego run the show, you're never going to be happy with it. You have to let go of the things that don't matter. You matter. Your ego doesn't. Find the lesson of yourself. And have the strength and vulnerability where it doesn't matter what your ego wants. You can still be successful without listening to your ego. It might be a different route, it might be unfamiliar, it might be scary, but it's possible. And so like I said, I don't know who needed to hear that, but I feel like some of you needed to hear that because like you've been watching this and like, no, but like this doesn't really feel like it's for me and another person, and it's not. It's you and yourself. But no matter what, the main message for everyone watching this, let go of your ego. And when I say ego, it's not your ego in the traditional sense. It is ego as in the things that you're doing because you have to be right and because you feel justified for doing it. Because sometimes like our ego is not something that it comes from trying to like have power over another, but it's more like, no, I'm right. So because I'm right, like I can do X, Y, Z. And it's like, yeah, you can do X, Y, Z, but they have consequences. And your consequence is going to be, you might be right, but you might be alone and lose this person because you won't let it go. Sometimes it's better to let things go and work things out than it is to win and be alone. Or to win and hate everything that you won. It's like that saying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Like, continuing this is not going to bring any happiness to anyone. And so your spirit guides really just want you to wake up right now. They want you to change things and take control and focus on what you actually want and make it happen instead of letting your ego run the show. And what I think is so fitting too is that you have the Strength card. The Strength is ruled by Leo, and Leo is ruled by Lions, and so it is kind of like the Pride card. And your pride and ego, they can go hand in hand, but also the Strength card is a card about vulnerability and like being strong in your own security. And so it's like, yeah, you can continue to feed your pride and be right and be justified. Or, depending on your perspective, you can use this to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to open up to this person, express how you've been feeling, communicate more efficiently, and actually fix things with them. And so it's all about how you want to view this Strength card. And it's all about what part of yourself are you going to let control you? Are you going to allow your ego to control you? Or are you going to allow yourself to control you? And not let your shadow side take the reins. But instead understand your shadow. Understand where you're justified for. But not allowing that to make you do things that are out of character for you. Or to continue the cycle of hurting one another. And so I hope that you just really reflect on this message. I hope that you take it to heart, and I hope that it really helps you out. If it did, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear this message. If you want to follow me on my other social media, including Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, it's going to be linked in the description box down below. And if you want to get your own private reading, you can either check out my Etsy shop or you can message me on my social media platforms. And I'm going to have more videos for you to watch next, linked in the cards above. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye.